for me, like, I could see something great on the other end of this work. But just because I can see it doesn't mean I've earned it, you know? And I think that's where the delusion comes from. Hello, my name is Xavier and welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to get right into the reason why we're here. So I'm going to be starting over 75 hard again. What tripped me up this time wasn't a chicken sandwich. It was a progress picture. So I just didn't take it, forgot, and I almost feel cursed by the progress pic because to me it's so forgettable. It doesn't always feel like a necessary task, and therefore I don't treat it as such. And then I find myself in this predicament. As I started to think about that, I was wondering, just kind of doing some soul searching, like, like, do you really want this? Are you really hungry? Asking myself all these questions, all that stuff that comes in with failure, right? Like, you shit on your own self real heavy. You don't need too much encouragement in that category. And so I went through all that this morning, felt really down, and just kind of started exploring that. And I realized that what was creating what was the biggest roadblock basically is my own need to do more than what I've proven to be able to handle. So let me explain. This last week, and actually after I completed week 1 and 2 of the second restart, I started feeling like, I got this. And my little interests were trickling in and sprinkling in all around me. And I started to feel like I can do everything, right? I soon realized that I'm just not ready. And I'm beginning to feel like the sooner I can acknowledge that this is a process, that you don't just get great overnight, and I really, really embody that lesson, I won't be running into these same issues. So I want to take you guys back. This has had to have been maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I've been on this self journey kick for a minute now, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. But I have been trying to make myself better in as many ways as I can, following as many experts as possible. And when I created my Instagram account the first time, there was a post that, I was inspired to make, and it's just a little graphic, but it was just talking about, there were three kind of phrases or terms, and it was, 1 is the self, 2 skills, and 3 something more. And I thought about that in relation to some of the guys I was following at the time. Like, I was following? Like Gary Vee. I didn't really know Andy Frisella at the time, but I guess Gary Vee was somebody I was really listening to a lot more because he would talk about judgment and just the notion of how much we constrict ourselves because we're so preoccupied with everything else. And I realized that in order to be successful in the way that I understood it, a lot of it was going to come down to how well or how much I build myself up, how much self-improvement I can gain through just like holding fast to my principles and building that character that's necessary. And then I realized that once I have that under wraps, I can pursue a skill, with the requisite discipline, dedication, the grit, to really, really see it through. And then once I can get the skill plus that mindset, plus those characters and those qualities, I can do so much more, or something more for my community, for my family, for myself, whatever the case may be, wherever I want to go, that stuff is possible, but it starts with the phase 1. I think for me, like, I could see something great on the other end of this work, but just because I can see it doesn't mean I've earned it, and I think that's where the delusion comes from. Because no matter what I did in the past, you can only flash that trophy so much, Xavier. And that's why I keep telling myself, like, this trophy of completing this task doesn't make you yet, like, you can look back and say, hey, you can do this. It's a reminder, but it's not your flag. You don't put that down. You haven't claimed anything yet. You're just getting started. And I think that's where, that's the lesson that I gained from this recent failure. This is a process, and you got to respect the process so much so that the things, especially the things that you think are trivial or not as significant, or I'll get to that later, do that first, because that very thing is going to be your undoing. And even though nobody's watching me, nobody cares really, probably, about how well I'm doing on this journey as much as I do. Like, you have to do this work in the way that you set up for yourself so that you can keep going. You know, it's almost like a highway that's only halfway done. Like, you need to smooth that shit out, and you just do it for miles, you know. Like, these freeways are done for, 20 or 30 miles, a stretch of land where they cover all this stuff, and everything that's all the concrete is poured into it, all the teams that are working on it, all the supports and trusses, that keep this thing together to get you to a place faster. Like, this is the highway that you're building. Before you can start driving, you got to keep that thing going. You got to keep it constructed and maintained properly. And I love that's what this program really does. So I am disappointed that I haven't committed to this thing the way I'm talking. So, like I said, this is not how I want to spend my day. Ideally, right? I would have been just checking off a box and moving on. But there's definitely an opportunity to make tweaks and just attack this process, a lot differently. Or maybe not a lot differently, but just stick to the plan. Really, that's what I think it is. Stick to the plan that you know is good for you, and complete it till it's done. And then you make your evaluations. Then you change things up, but only after you did it for the trial time. So anyway, my stomach is rumbling. It's a little warm out here. I'm gonna wrap this video up. But again, thank you for checking this out. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, follow wherever you're watching me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Realize the movie that I was watching. It's the end of the world. Illuminati is coming. Gather the boys and girls and watches it all unfurls. They clutching at all their pearls and no one asking for guidance. Stimulus check, won't you cash app that? I got and they said that respect they black. Politicians and they said don't know how to act. That's why we sitting on the wrong track. Back to the long track. It's okay to be rich. My mama always told me I was destined for greatness. But my mama also, she told me take care of the kids and everybody around the world that can't fight for it. So it's Hakuna Matata, beast on the water, pray to provider, please don't divide us. Keep that and try to face your intruder to be someone brighter. Yeah.